Moises Caicedo is the name on everyone's lips. Every single person in football is talking about him today because at midnight last night, Brighton, his club, hosted an auction for Chelsea and Liverpool to battle it off to see who would pay the most amount of money for Moises Caicedo, and Brighton would reward the highest bidder with the player. Now, honestly, this is crazy because it should never have got to that stage. Chelsea Football Club have been trying to sign him all summer long, but we've messed about time and time again. 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 90, all these bids way off of Brighton's valuation. And the thing that makes it a little bit more crazy is that Chelsea have wasted that money elsewhere on wonder kids who will never play for the club and have gone straight out on loan. But Liverpool, we need to focus on them for a minute. I'm slightly concerned about Liverpool because I thought by this point they would have sorted out their midfield. I feel like this bid for Caicedo is unlike Liverpool. It's uncharacteristic. It's not how they do their transfer business. It's normally well thought out. And I'm not saying that this one wasn't, but it was very last ditch. And they probably thought, you know what, Chelsea is snoozing on this, being very relaxed because they think they're the only ones in the race. Let's go and test it with our max budget that we've got and see what can happen. What's crazy about that is I think if they'd have actually turned around to Dortmund and put up the same money, Bellingham would probably be playing for Liverpool right now, which as a Liverpool fan is probably quite hard to take. And this probably now means, because Moises Caicedo in the last hour has said no to joining Liverpool, that they are now in troubled waters and need to go out and sign someone. Will it be Lavia? I'm not too sure, but we'll talk about that later if it's big enough news. What I want to speak about, though, is Moises Caicedo and Chelsea Football Club. This has been going on for far too long. This should have been wrapped up. We've almost let him have a whole pre-season, but very disrupted at Brighton, to come to Chelsea and expect him to kick off straight away, when we should have got this done early doors, because we've ended up paying over what Brighton wanted in the first place. Because I'm pretty certain we're just going to have to match Liverpool's bid now, because Brighton will turn around and say, well, look, they're willing to pay it. We'll just let them have him. We'll completely disregard you, Chelsea. Even if the player wants to join you, we can't turn down the money. Or Tony Bloom will go, hold him to his contract. We'll get that money in January off Liverpool. So it's a mess. I don't know what's going on with Chelsea. We very, very nearly left this whole saga embarrassed. Very, very nearly wasted our whole summer on trying to sign Moises Caicedo, and it's not quite happened. But luckily, somewhere, someone has looked down upon Chelsea Football Club and decided that Moises Caicedo will still want to join Chelsea after all this messing around. I don't know what is going on, but thank you for whoever's done that, because he's going to be a Chelsea player. I'm certain of it. But there shouldn't be any more messing around, Chelsea. Just cough up the money. Liverpool even had contracts ready. Now, it makes you wonder if Chelsea have had them ready for ages as well, but that's not the point. Chelsea get this deal done. It's been a mess. It's been going on for ages. What a waste of every single person's time, because that we could have got that deal done, paid the money, and had these guys out looking and working on a deal for other areas in the squad. Because if Kepa goes, we're back in the market for another goalie who needs to be world-class / first team quality. It just doesn't make sense. It all seems very messy at Chelsea, and we've gone and got these deals done and paid really, really big fees for players who are literally unproven, even nearly in South America, to come and play in Europe and hopefully generate Todd Boehly money. It's just an absolute mess. And what also I want to speak about is the Nkunku injury. Nkunku is a big, big blow. That is one Chelsea didn't need. And I know people are blaming the pitch, but I don't think it's just the pitch. That tackle from Hummels, it didn't look good. He didn't move well after that. We can't just blame the pitch. But that's not the problem. That's not the point. All of a sudden, with Nkunku out the side, things look a bit ropey again. This was the guy. This was our marquee signing. And in the last year, 7-8 months, this guy's had 2 major injuries. He missed the whole World Cup and now he's torn his meniscus. People are saying to me, oh, he's not a sick note. And look, statistically, he wasn't. He barely missed any games in Germany. I think the only reason he missed games was through being ill. But now, these 2 big injuries, This is the risk of signing players after these injuries. Look at Hazard at Real Madrid. Injury after injury after injury, he was never the same. Who's to say that's not what's happened with Nkunku? And fingers crossed it doesn't, but remember Ziyech. Ziyech come in that first game against Brighton, looked unreal. He got a knee injury. He now fails medicals for that same knee injury. Chelsea would never have signed him if that was the case. And obviously hindsight's a beautiful thing, and you obviously can't do much once you sign the player. But we need to go and address signing a player who is consistently able to perform at the top level for pretty much every game in a season. Someone like Harry Kane is the level and the type of player we're talking about. Plays nearly every minute he's available and fit, and is consistently world class. That's the type of player that Chelsea should be going in for. I cannot believe we've not even been in conversation to try and get that done. We obviously haven't, but the price that he's going to Bayern Munich for is the price we're about to pay for this midfielder who, to be quite honest with you, isn't even world class. A good player, but is well overvalued at the moment, and that's the market right now. So it's just a bit of a shambles on the whole for Chelsea Football Club right now. Don't get me wrong, the market in the Premier League is now its own bubble. It's crazy. The fact that Rice went for the money that he did was a lot, but a better player than Caicedo. He also, it has the English tax, like what Greenish had, like what Harry Maguire's had. These players have gone for huge fees because they fit homegrown quotas. Moises Caicedo doesn't fit that, and he's gone for this money. This is the bubble stretching and stretching right now. When a non-homegrown player who plays for Brighton goes for this amount of money, this is when it's getting out of hand. This is when it is getting out of control in terms of transfer fees. And look, it's not my money, but what on earth would like your Lampard or your Gerrard or your Scholes cost in this market? It's absolutely phenomenal. Like the transfer fees and the wages we're seeing around football right now are ridiculous. But what I will say is Chelsea, just make sure you get this deal done. Please sort out something, because our squad depth still isn't good enough in some areas. And Nkunku being injured for at least pretty much half the season is big bad news. We need someone in to cover that gap, to cover that area, and challenge Nkunku and increase our squad depth. Because Nkunku, honestly, right now, I'm concerned he will never ever live up to what we expect him to be because of injuries. And it wouldn't be the first player that happens to at Chelsea. And I really hope that it isn't. But Ziyech is an all too recent memory. So let's see what happens. Get to work, Chelsea Football Club, because look, we've been really... This is the thing that baffles me, though. We've been really quick with a couple of deals, like Dazazi and... I'm just trying to think. Mudryk, the hijack there. We got these deals done super quick, super efficient. And all of a sudden, this one, we've just been trying. And I genuinely think it's down to complacency, and it's down to Todd Bowley and Clear Lake Capital and the board thinking they were the only ones in this race. And we nearly left it with egg on our face. So please, Chelsea Football Club, get your act together. The board in mainly is who I mean, and Whit Stanley and Stewart, because we have things to sort out. There's less than a month to go till the end of the transfer deadline. Things are hotting up. Teams are acting now because players have had pre-season. They're fit, they're ready to go, and they're getting a bit desperate. They're thinking, right, actually, our squad's not looking too good for this season coming up. And they start seeing how other teams are looking. Also, what I will add is Jackson looks very, very good. But don't forget, he failed a medical at Bournemouth. And Broja, one of our other strikers, also just had a horrific injury, which some players never come back from. So when are we going to start addressing this injury problem at Chelsea and signing players that are consistently fit and able to play these minutes? Because he's not the only player in our squad that has injury question marks over his head. Reece James, Chile, these type of players are very, very good on their day, but how often is their day due to injuries? Now, hopefully he's done for Liverpool. I'd love to see him play against Liverpool at the Bridge. I think it would be great for Chelsea, great for the fans. It's really, really needed. That lift would be fantastic. If you've enjoyed the video or you have anything to say about Moises Caicedo, the transfers Chelsea have made, the injury crisis I think that's been going on at Chelsea for a long, long time, Drop it in the comments below. Let's have a chat about it. Subscribe if you're new. We're still trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, even though the season starts today. And I will catch you in the next one.